Welcome, everybody, to this Synapse Philosophy group. This is Dr. Haig John. I'm your host, and we're on D.D. Palmer's 1910 book, The Chiropractor's Adjuster, page 674. And it was just brought up recently. Did D.D. or B.J. talk about thoughts, traumas, and toxins? And, that's our modern way of saying that. And we say it in a lot of coaching groups and different things. We've seen it before, and it happens to come up right now in our reading. And thank you, Dr. Alan Lichter, that found that. And we're on page 674, midway through the page, where it says, really, okay? Really, this is a new thought and an important one for chiropractors. Diseases are the result of vertebral displacements. These luxations are caused by direct traumatism, poisons, or autosuggestion. That thought of Dr. Arnold's beats chiropractors out of a future job or jobs, as adjusting the whole spine puts up a constitutional defense, a fortified fortress against traumatic accidents, toxin poisons, and overtension by autosuggestion. I am satisfied that Dr. Alma Arnold has been innocently and grossly misrepresented. I feel like we maybe should read that of what she was talking about, because I know a lot of groups, Pasquale was one of them, that adjusted the whole spine. And, it made a lot of sense where the debris hiding in the joints and allowing the system to get all that tone, that vibration, clearing out the debris. I miss chiropractic Pasquale's adjustments. We put Pasquale adjusting Haig or serving Haig is on YouTube, and you can see what his adjustment looks like. All right.
You could read that one next line. If you
do not remove the cause, how can you expect the patient to recover from its effects? Yeah. So, what's the cause? The luxated vertebra? Or it's really the nerve
the
component?
interference with the transmission of the information and what causes that is what causes the tension to change the tension in the transmission and changes the tension in the nerves, which changes the speed or that the transmission is allowed to happen. Too fast or too slow, too much or too little is incorrect, and that's what causes the problem.
Well, now, what does this mean? Thoughts, traumas, and toxins. Let's just talk about this for a second, because we have had people are talking about it today. This was literally just came up in conversation. Barry, I see you unmuted.
I recognize that Dee Dee was talking about Dr. Arnold, and in the sequence earlier before we were recording, we were talking about painless adjusting. So Dr. Alma Arnold was one of the biggest female chiropractors chiropractic has ever seen. She is one of the first ones licensed in the state of New York. She also was licensed in Washington. One of her patients was Clara Barton, the founder of Red Cross. So she was a bigwig, and that's interesting that DD is quoting her here and talking about her.
Well, that whole section that we skipped is about her, because he's arguing with the fact that she just starts at the bottom and works up to the top and moves every bone.
And you could tell by him doing that, she was not a graduate of his school. She was a graduate of Salon Langworthy. Yeah, exactly. So little competition there, friendly competition.
Well, this does talk about, the autosuggestion. What does he mean by autosuggestion? It's not just thoughts, is it? What do you guys think? Anybody? I guess not. Not a chatty group tonight. All right. That's okay. Where's the cat? Oh, there's the cat. The cat's sleeping. Livelier when the cat's moving around.
She never misses it.
We have this one now. We have another one.
Oh, that's a cute one. I like that cat. Bob, you feeling better?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Oh, good, yeah.
You sound better. I like it. Look, you got a tan too. Look about surfing. It must have been waves lately.
Why is this so light, so weird?
All right. When we're getting into this now, where do these come from? Thoughts, traumas, toxins, autosuggestion. I sent this to Simon Senzen yesterday, about a week ago. And because I want to know when who was saying this? This is in 1906. And I had a t-shirt made of this, my office t-shirt, but it was a little heavy. And no one really liked that t-shirt because it said this: the people need light in order to protect themselves from the germo antitoxin vaxi radii electromyobial slush death producers. That was my first t-shirt we made in the office. The producers really turned people off a little bit. But it's the same story in 1906. We're talking about we got to watch out. We're getting this sludge. Wasn't anything new in 1906. Okay. Pasquale was okay. Diseases. This is D.D. Palmer again. This is page 10. Diseases are but the result of impinged nerves. 95% of these are caused by vertebral subluxations, which impinge nerves. These displacements are caused by accidents, by poisons, whether introduced by inhalation, food, or drink, or by the physician who inserts vaccine poisons into a healthy body. Now, I was going to post that one when our thread, I brought in Barry on that one. This was one of the ones that I was literally going to post it anyway when somebody posted that one. But this is very likely, I would say, D.D. Palmer. And, I asked Senzen, is this D.D.? He said, D.D. was, D.D. was anti-vaccination as early as 1890. Do you know what the issue was? I'm going to try and what issue mine was from. I think mine is from Kale, actually. I can't find it right now. If it's after April, then probably BJ, unless it's reused. So we're just trying to figure out. 1906 is complicated because of DD and BJ. DD wrote most of it. BJ did a lot, and he published it. So I think Senzen and a couple of other people are putting together a book. What was DD? What was BJ? They're doing the research right now. All right. But I think that's an important one for us all to realize. It's not that we're, jumping on a bandwagon. We have been on this protecting people the best that we could with our knowledge, educating people, and, showing them the facts. The chiropractic lifestyle is a natural lifestyle. All things natural we used to talk about. And I think that's where BJ, DD, whoever wrote that in 1906, I think it was DD. So, getting the things natural is also part of chiropractic. All right. Who wants to read the next part?
Where are we going?
Well, miraculous cure, but doctor didn't make it. Uh,
I marked a skip on that, and then I haven't gotten anywhere past
some
that.
luxations adjusted, 677. Okay, 677. Some luxations adjusted. We were recently handed some questions with their answers. Being the discoverer and developer of chiropractic, I feel like taking the liberty of correcting them. The teacher states that the function of the left lamina of the axis is to unite the anterior arch and the posterior. Functions are either vital or intellectual. They form vital acts and intellectual acts. A bone or a part of one does not assist in performing any of the vital phenomena either of the body or mind. The lamina and pedicles constitute the arch, the atlas being the only vertebra that has two arches. Therefore, the lamina do not unify two arches of the axis. I know somebody's been up late at night discussing that and arguing about the two arches, okay? Problem solved. Now we can go to bed and we can sleep again. Oh my goodness. Well, it was the TP or the posterior arch. I thought he would go into that a little bit, but I'm a TP guy. So against again, he says the lack of current is the cause of any disease in any person. A large percent of disease, while in the acute stage, have too much heat and excess of function, too much activity, are hypersensitive, are hyperthyroid, hypertrophied conditions, and does as does cancer in its growth. In his dissertation on sunstroke, he loses sight on one of the principles of chiropractic, namely, that disease is but the result of functions performed in too great or too little a degree. He says, a person could not have sunstroke unless there was a subluxation. And exposure to the sun's ray may cause either extremes of activity. Remember that disease is either too much or too little function. The patient may exhibit symptoms of asphyxia, isolation with coma, feeble pulse, coldness of the skin, diminished temperature, or that of hyperxia and full rapid pulse, hot skin, high temperature. Of all backward steps, the following is the greatest. Every step from one advancement to the other has been continual fight. For instance, I was talking only the other evening with a man who was a graduate from this school 4 years ago. He graduated when he did teach the sympathetic nerve system. Today, when I tell him there is no such thing, he battles me, fought me until 7 o'clock in the morning. And he's quoting this right now, okay? This isn't Didi speaking. For 3 solid hours, we chewed the rag on that, and he left just as determined as when he came. He is but a practitioner, but here in a school starting out, making a standard of its own, which it thinks is the only one there is, and we forgive them, and we give them credit for thinking so, although they have or take no means of comparing their work with the other fellows. There is a system of these three subdivisions of nerves. Okay, this is getting a little bit boring. Now, it's just a subdivision of nerves. We know all that stuff. We don't have to go into that. How do you guys feel?
Yep.
Well, you know, this weekend's Mother's Day weekend. We have one mother here, Carol. Happy Mother's Day in a few at the end of the week. And then we're going to be at New Beginnings. Oi, oi, oi. I mean, now I got to get in from JFK. Newark is so easy. I love Newark Airport. I get on the train.
Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Danger, danger.
Not on the train. I love the train, man. It's easy. New Jersey Transit, man. It gets you all the way from the airport to Asbury Park, hour and a half. It's easy. I don't know how to get there from JFK, man, and I hope I don't have to walk. I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah,
sure I
but
get an Uber.
Newark is a mess at the moment.
Newark's a mess.
They had
I,
that brand new airport. They screwed up their communication system with the tower on it.
oy, oy, oy. It's my favorite airport. I have to say, it's so easy. Besides my own little hometown airport, Newark is literally the easiest airport. Anyway, but we'll be continuing our conversation about children and the role of chiropractic care. I think it's an important moment. And one other thing I want to say is that, I've said it a lot of times, is that Medicare has destroyed elder care in chiropractic. Destroyed it. Our elders need the care. They really needed the care. Medicare keeps it from the masses. I have to say, because no chiropractor can have a chiropractic office that runs purely on Medicare. They just don't pay you enough. There's no way to survive in 2025 that way. I feel bad for the patient. The chiropractors also have to eat, but we have to have Medicare reform. And what does that mean? Getting out of Medicare completely. That's what our Medicare reform should be. There's no way to fix it. We do one thing, we adjust, and they're not going to pay you $1,000 for that, you know? So anyway, and that's chiropractors deserve, literally, we're saving lives. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars. BJ back in the what was it, 1930s, was $300 an adjustment. He adjusted you one time, but you convalesced there for a month. I really would, I would say if I could go on a vacation at any time, I would like to go and hang out at the PJ Palmer Clinic and just hang out. I really would. Oh, I've got something. I'll make up something. Appendicitis. Check my atlas. BJ would see right through it, I bet. Anyway,
That was Clay Thompson's story.
was that? Tell it, tell it, tell it.
Clay Thompson had a, had appendicitis, and BJ adjusted him, and they didn't know at the time that's what it was, but he was, he had this terrible pain in his side, and BJ took care of him, adjusted him, and years later, and Clay told this story. I heard it direct from Clay. Is years later he was in the hospital for something else, and some abdominal surgery. And the surgeon afterwards, the surgeon says to him, "Did you ever have like a terrible pain in your side?" He said, "Yeah, I did." He says, Your appendix may have ruptured. It's entirely encapsulated in calcium. The body sealed it off after the adjustment, as near as we can tell. It's wrapped in, they calcified the appendix because it was a danger.
I
The
bet it's
body has
still
the
functioning.
amazing ability to deal with anything that's going on if we let it.
And the appendix is such a valuable organ. It coats the colon. They see higher rates of colon cancer when the appendix has been removed. If you didn't know that. Well, we have some digging to do and to get into this so we can finish this book.
We have ways to
But
go.
I know we've got a long ways to go. And I brought home my 1906, and I brought home the 1906 quotes on purpose because I was thinking about just taking a dip in there for a little while if you guys wanted to. Because the first few I've only read 400 pages in that one too. And there's some meaty stuff. It's actually very, very good. But we do need to go and look through this and spend a little time. Those were very good. I'm glad we went through that. What was that? 476. No.
6.
Yeah, 474, 674. Thomas Troxins, and yeah, I got that. So we'll post that tomorrow if we can, and get that on that page because I think that's important. I don't have much more for tonight. Next week, we should be able to do it next week and the week after. I'm excited to be at New Beginnings. That'll be fun. I might not get there till Friday. If I'm traveling all day on Thursday, I might miss the opening part on Thursday, but we'll see how it works out. But I'll definitely be there early Friday morning. Anybody else going? Carol and Bob, you guys are on. You're speaking. I'm pretty sure I saw your name on there. Cool, cool. All right. If anybody doesn't have any other insights or anything else they'd like to add, I'm gonna go kiss my kids goodnight.
All right then. We'll try. So we're going to try and read ahead in this and stay with this week, or we're going to switch.
No, let's dig in it a little deeper and see if we can get some more meat out of this. And there's a lot more in here. This is just a chunk. This is education area. He's teaching from this and all this stuff. It's a little bit, we need to get a little deeper. Okay? And so I'll look into it too. I'm behind in my outline, but I think we're gonna rock it.
All right.
All
I'll
right.
try to read ahead some too. All right.
Yeah, we got to read ahead a little bit and get familiarized with it. Brothers and sisters, have a good night. I'll see you next week.
Happy Mother's Day to.
Happy Mother's Day to our mothers. All right. Good night, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.